Okay, let's call the meeting to order at 6:33. And first up is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next up is agenda changes. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we are going to have an executive session.
Yep.
We'll motion that at the end.
I do also have Tony on my computer here. She can say hi to you if she wants.
Okay, moving.
Hey,
Tony.
A little delayed, but
Moving on to privilege of the floor. Public expression. The board encourages public participation at board meetings during a specific portion of the agenda entitled Privilege of the Floor, Public Comment. The public comment section is not the time or place to register complaints about individuals or items that have not first been addressed through proper channels with those closest to the issue, such as a teacher, the building principal, the superintendent, or other appropriate party. Individuals making statements during privilege of the floor are expected to be courteous and respectful, modeling for our students how one can participate and have their voice heard in situations where there is agreement or disagreement with others' views. If members of the public have gone through proper channels and still wish to discuss a matter with the board, they can submit their comments in writing to the board clerk. At its discretion, the board may invite visitors to its meetings to participate in the board's discussion of matters on the agenda. The public comments section is an opportunity for residents and residents only to address the Board of Education. Public comment should take place only in the portion of the agenda designated. This is usually at the beginning of each meeting. Persons wishing to address the board must indicate their desire to speak in advance on the sign-in sheet. Because the board typically has many business items on its agenda, speakers must confine their comments to 3 minutes. The board will not address specific questions, comments, but may ask for your name and contact information in the event follow-up is necessary. The board will not permit in public session discussion involving individual personnel or students. Persons wishing to discuss matters involving individual personnel or students should present their comments and/or concerns to the superintendent, who will share them with the board at the next executive session. So I have the sign-in sheet, and one person has indicated they wish to speak. Deanna Fox, please come down to the mic.
Thank you. So I feel like my request is that the board conduct a formal review of how it participates with third-party groups that are affiliated with the school and how they allocate building use. DC PTA has a storage unit in the elementary school where we store stuff, but it's not ours exclusively to use, and there's always other items in there, and there's often items that go missing. But I think the problem goes deeper. I think it's the board needs to formally review its policy for which groups are allowed to use the school building for functions relating to fundraising, if those groups are not nonprofits first. And also, I don't think it should be the jurisdiction or discretion or carte blanche decision-making of any one particular party or group to use a specific room that's taxpayer funded. So I would appreciate a formal review, I guess, of the policy if there is one. If there isn't one, I would hope that the board would create one. And then hopefully there could be more equity among groups that use the school to conduct extracurricular activities and fundraise for our district. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone that wished to speak tonight? Okay. Moving on, we have reports.
Yep, I think Katie is first. Just advance a couple of slides, Katie.
Yay. Oh, no. All right, I'm going to do, oh, jeez. Yes, I know there's a strong height deficiency. Okay, so I just want to give a little bit of an athletics update for the year so far. So for this school year, we actually added two different things. One is club varsity cheer that we merged with BKW so that we can have cheerleaders cheer during the football season. So they actually go to Bern every single day or whenever their practices are and cheer at the home football games with Bern cheerleaders. It is only a club sport. It's not an actual varsity sport, but it is a good opportunity for those cheerleaders to have something else to do during the school year. And also, we merged modified girls soccer with BKW, which has been great for them to actually play on a girls team, where last year we had to merge them with our boys modified team. We also had a new law be enacted during the summer called the Dominic Murray Sudden Cardiac Arrest Prevention Act. We added that to all of our sports signups, and we also made sure that for all of our home soccer games at the upper varsity soccer field, we have a portable AED with them, as well as having an AED with our cross-country team and anyone that is further than 90 seconds from an accessible AED. We also have a few different pink days. You guys may have seen or attended last Friday was a girls varsity soccer pink game, and varsity volleyball has one coming up, I believe, on the 24th of the month. And I believe girls varsity soccer raised a good amount of money as well for breast cancer awareness. We are going back to our original fall season banquet with Booster Club. So our fall banquet's going to be on 11/2. And we're going to continue one for every single season. And then we're going to evaluate if that is the way that we would best like to appreciate our athletes and kind of see what the community feels about going back to the wonderful days before COVID hit. And then the other thing is emergency transportation and delaying sporting times. This unfortunately has been a big thing across the WAC. Trying to get to events on time is a huge challenge. So I know that it is not perfect, and I know that some teams can't get there on time versus other teams, and we're trying our very, very best to get everyone where we can as quick as possible. There have been a few events where we've had to use emergency transportation that has worked really well, so for all the parents that have had to transport, we really do appreciate it, and hopefully we don't have to use it very much this year. But that is something in our reality with our lack of bus drivers and our route times and things along those lines. So please just be patient. For athletic data, we actually are doing pretty strong. Most of our teams have had an increase in numbers. So if you look at the programs, volleyball has the largest change of athletes. They have 16 athletes now, or 16 more athletes than last year, sorry. Whew, long day. Boys soccer added 1, and I know that for tomorrow, boys varsity soccer is actually playing for the league to see if we're gonna be division leaders or not, which is pretty exciting. Girls soccer added 10 players. We have an army of a girls varsity soccer team this year. Cross country, we added 4. Golf improved by 1. Football added 3. Swim, we did unfortunately lose 1, but we did lose a good amount of seniors last year. And we added club varsity cheer. So overall, we added 38 athletes to our fall numbers, which is great. Yeah. That is modified through varsity. So that includes the modified and varsity levels or modified JV and varsity levels. Yep. And we also, yeah. I am working on that. I'm trying to go back through old rosters to make that data pull together, but I do have the last 2 years. That's something. It's a work in progress. But yes, no, it would be really interesting to see where we fall pre-COVID as well. So hopefully for the next board meeting, I can pull that together. Cool. Never mind, Jim's got it. We actually had our communications director make this phenomenal graphic for us. These are our senior nights. Most of them have passed, unfortunately. But we have a few left. So on the 14th, we have girls soccer, which is this Friday. On Saturday, we have football, where we're honoring our one senior for that. And then on the 20th is girls volleyball. And I know some of the board members are at one of them. But yeah, no, it's been phenomenal so far to be there and congratulate the seniors, and it's been a great time. The only one we haven't had a home senior night celebration for is boys varsity soccer, and we're really hoping that they win the league, because then we get a better shot to have a home game to celebrate them here. So these are a few of the pictures that have come up so far this year. On the top left is the boys cross country senior night. The parents did a phenomenal job planning that. Coaches did a decent job. Just kidding. Coach Meckel did awesome. We have on the bottom left, you can kind of see the rainbow. Boys JV soccer had a practice with a nice little rainbow. And then on the bottom right was when I was at the varsity game that same day, and you can see the rainbow from a different angle. Just a lot of rainbows so far this year. In the middle, we have our girls varsity senior night. There was not a dry eye in the house. I don't think I've seen a group of girls cry so much. It was beautiful. And in the top right, we have our wonderful varsity volleyball team that's playing right now, throwing up the W's. And they did bring home a little baby trophy from their tournament this past weekend. And then the real kahuna that we're going to talk about is varsity golf. Varsity golf won the WAC championship for the second year in a row. Yep. It's their third time in 5 years that they have won this, which is phenomenal. And they had a 12-1 record this year. Shane Weatherington became division MVP. We had a bunch of first-team All-Stars with Tyler Drexel, Grant Raymond, and Colin Lucier. And then Porto Lucido went to the second-team All-Stars. And Chloe Galvin also became the first Waynesburg girl to compete in the girls' sectionals and was the division MVP for the girls, which was a great milestone for us. And they did compete in sectionals today. And what I can tell you is that Shane Weatherington made it to the second round of sectionals, so he will be competing on that next round coming up. And then finally, some important dates. Our sports sign-up actually begins on Friday for winter season. I know, can't believe it either. So there will be a parent square coming out to you guys that includes all that information that you would need. We are offering winter sport physicals in school, so if anyone needs to have a physical for the winter season, that'll be on the 10th of November. Our JV and varsity sports begin on the 14th of November, and then modified a week after on the 21st. And then we are also doing photos with iSmile for our athletes, and that will be on 12/6, where you can get individual photos, a team photo of the team, and our senior photos to do senior banners, which we just got our senior banners in for the fall, and they will be put up in the school as soon as I can get the manpower to make that work. Sweet. That's all I got. Yeah. Yes, relatively. So it's not, there's no sectional attached to it. There's no varsity letter attached to it. It's just an opportunity as a club for them to go and just enjoy time with each other, practice their sport, but not have it be an official sport that's on our docket. It's just too tall for me. I believe counseling is next, which is why I raised the mic.
Alrighty. So for those who don't know me, I am Josh Meckel. I am the new school counselor here, and as well as the cross-country coach, as Katie had mentioned. So we do want to talk about our counseling plan. I kind of just want to preface with, oh, thank you. So beginning in 2019-2020 school year, schools are actually mandated to have an available guidance plan. And this ensures that all students will have access to a certified school counselor. They can address multiple student competencies, including college and career readiness, academic, and then social and emotional development standards. Each year, this is reviewed and assessed by an advisory council. This is made up of the counselors, a social worker, school psychologist, a teacher, a board member, a student, and administration as well. And basically, this advisory council develops yearly goals and they implement a plan and basically the steps to achieve that overall plan.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. My name is Christina Goebel. For those of you who don't know me, I am one of the school counselors here. So for last year, one of our goals that we had was that the counselors and the social worker were going to provide programming to students in grades K through 6 on a quarterly, which is what myself and my co-counselor at the time did, and then Mr. Presson was doing it on a trimester basis. So when I went in last year, we did various lessons on introducing 6th grade students how to use the student portal, so they're able to look at their grades, see areas that they need to improve, and so they're able to really just keep track of all of that throughout the year. We did a lesson on empathy, and also internet safety and the effects of social media, and then also a personality assessment, which we did at the end of the year, which was used on Naviance, which is our college and career readiness tool. So we did an assessment with them there that asked them numerous questions about their personality and then matched them up with various careers. So that was kind of interesting for them to see.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Dave Presson. I'm a social worker at the elementary school. And, the topics we brought to the classrooms were helping kids, with their feelings, identifying what those feelings were, looking at ways for them to be able to regulate them or just feel a little bit more able to manage some feelings. Additionally, just having the kids recognize different boundaries that keep them safe. A variety of different situations, circumstances, but just having them feel like they've, are able to voice those things and kind of be involved in kind of knowing what to do if they feel like any boundaries have not been kept safe. And we have provided some counseling of a grief, type of counseling too, just for some unfortunate circumstances that kind of befell the community. And those were some of the topics that, were presented to our students over at the elementary school.
The other goal that we had at the high school level was students who were remote for 90% of the 2020-2021 school year, which was all year or within the first month and did not return, would have a 90% attendance rate for the 2021-2022 school year. So in order to assist us with meeting that goal, we did, put some different things in place. We did home visits when necessary. We did schedule adjustments when needed to make things a little bit more manageable for students who were really struggling to get to school. Really just checking in on their overall wellness. There was surveys that were sent out last year, which we are going to do again this year, to try to give us a gauge for how they were doing. And then really just reaching out to parents and students on how we could provide any other supports to them, and if there was anything additional that they thought would be helpful from us. So we are going to continue implementing those same supports. For this year, there is also a mentor program with the middle school that is being implemented this year to really keep students engaged, making connections with their teachers and peers to hopefully get them wanting to come to school and just staying engaged. And I believe we're also going to be doing that at the high school level as well. Yes.
Second goal?
Unfortunately, we did not. We had about half. So unfortunately, we didn't meet it, but we do feel like we did have what we did have in place. Were good things. It was just there were other things, I think, for families and students that came up that they just couldn't get to school for whatever reason. So there were 76 total, so 38. Yeah. Yep.
So for our 2022-2023 goal, one thing that we definitely want to do is increase awareness of college and career readiness through different types of workshops, career fairs, and career presentations that we plan on doing. So some of the workshops that we're planning on doing include resume writing, cover letter writing, interviewing skills, and just kind of that overall prep to get students ready to be both college and career ready. We're also doing different types of job searching, and also we're planning on doing a spring career fair. We would like to involve community members, so if you feel that you would like to get involved with a spring career fair, we can set up a table for you. You can kind of get involved with our students and kind of present as to what you do. That would be awesome. So if you would like to get involved, please reach out to us at the counseling office, and we can kind of get things all squared away there.
Have you guys done this, or have you considered reaching out to recent grads to kind of survey them about, how Waynesburg prepared them?
We have done that actually. Years ago, we had Alumni Day. It was, pre-COVID. It was very hard sometimes to get students to come back. That became a challenge for us. However, we did really like it when we had it, so I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, to try to bring it back. We did try to get it where we had someone who we knew was attending a 2-year school, someone who we knew was attending a 4-year, or was, in the military, or was just in the workforce. So we did try to encompass everybody. Yeah, we did really like it. It's just the attendance or getting people to come back was hard. I know. So I guess we could think about bringing that back. Oh, yes, we did. Yep.
Emails and cell phone
Mhm.
numbers with the aim of surveying
Yep.
people, down the road to see how they're doing.
Yeah, so we could definitely bring that back. I always enjoyed when they came back and seeing the past grads. It was always good. And I always felt like the kids appreciated it too, because they were not just hearing it from us all the time. It was good to have it from someone who kind of went through it, so. Oh, I'm still talking. I forgot where I was at. We are going to be sending out a survey about kind of just college and career readiness as well, just to gauge where students are at as far as things they want to know more about. So like Josh was saying, we do have our own ideas of things that we wanted to include, maybe doing those various workshops. So we want them to let us know if they like those ideas, but also give them an opportunity to let us know if there's anything specific that they want to know more about. So we are going to be doing that. And the survey really is just to get a general idea if they know what they want to do after high school. Just very, basic, generic kind of questions just to kind of see where they're at with things in the process. Oh, yeah, sorry, Dave.
On the career topic, the elementary school also looks to kind of get that information out, at a different level, but give them information about people that are in their community. In the past couple of years, that's taken the form of Zoom, and some folks in the room have, were kind enough to put a little vignette together, and it was very well received. We're looking to kind of implement, maybe in person guest speakers of some variety, and kind of working on developing that further now that things seem a little bit more lending itself to that. So the kids really kind of, it makes an impact when they see people in their own community kind of stepping forward, and it starts to kind of congeal in their minds, and kind of, well, maybe I could try that or that. So we're going to kind of brainstorm a little bit further collectively as to kind of how to roll that out this year. But I think that's it from the team.
I'd just like to thank Christina and Dave and Josh. Josh joined us midway last year and kind of hit the ground running, and it was like he'd always been here. So that was great. I also wanted to let everybody know that we have a new person at the high school named Dana Kamer, who they graciously allowed to skip this meeting, which was great. And but we're looking forward to working with her. She's going to be working with a lot of our students who have counseling on their IEPs, and so we're looking forward to see what Dana can offer. But we have a really good team of caring people here, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next item, presentation and approval of prior Board of Education meeting minutes. Recommendation that the Board of Education accept the meeting minutes from the September 13, 2022 meeting as submitted. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Avis. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Melissa. Questions or comments on the minutes? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I abstain, I wasn't here.
Board of Education standing committees. Did any of the committees meet last month?
The only thing was the board, Building and Grounds had Jim led us on the tour of the proposed building project, proposed capital project, and it was pretty well attended actually for the way things have been going. It's a reasonable amount of work that has to get done. I think everybody would agree about that. There's no real fluff. If we want to keep the buildings, we got to do this work.
Yep. Okay, no one else?
Nope.
All right, moving on to financial. Accept financial reports. Recommendation that the Board of Education accept the appropriation status extracurricular account ending August 31st, 2022 and September 30th, 2022. Revenue status and treasurer's reports ending August 31st, 2022. Claims auditors reports, general warrant A11 in the amount of $128,867.96 and capital warrant HP3 in the amount of $800,665.99 dated September 14th, 2022, and general warrant A12 $475,664.92 and capital warrant HP4 $837 dated September 28, 2022, as provided and recommended by the Treasurer and Assistant Superintendent of Management Services. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Teresa. Second?
Second.
Francis, thank you. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Approve reserve fund report and plan. Recommendation that the Board of Education accept the reserve fund report and plan as provided by the Assistant Superintendent of Management Services. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Melissa. Second?
I'll second.
Teresa, thank you. Questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next up, approve capital project. I'm going to read some, but not all of this. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Duanesburg Central School District, Schenectady, Albany, Montgomery, and Schoharie Counties, New York, the district, as follows. Section 1, a special meeting of the qualified voters of the district is hereby called to be held in the Junior-Senior High School Library, 163 School Drive, Delancey, New York, on Thursday, December 8, 2022, between the hours of 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. for the purpose of voting on the following proposition. Proposition: shall the Board of Education be authorized to reconstruct and improve existing structures, systems, or areas at the district's elementary school, junior-senior high school, and bus garage, including original furnishings, equipment, machinery, apparatus, appurtenances, and site and other incidental improvements and expenses in connection therewith, at a maximum estimated cost not to exceed $28 million, and that the sum of $28 million, or so much thereof as may be necessary, shall be raised by the levy of a tax upon the taxable property of the district and collected in annual installments as provided by Section 416 of the Education Law, and, in anticipation of such tax, obligations of the district shall be issued. And the remainder of this item as written. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Francis, thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Melissa. Questions or comments on this? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Last financial item. Approve agreement between the district and Duanesburg Support Staff Association. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Duanesburg Central School District hereby approves the agreement by and between the district and the Duanesburg Support Staff Association dated October 11, 2022, effective, I presume that's October 11, 2022, and authorizes the superintendent to execute the agreement. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Avis. Second?
I'll second.
Melissa?
As amended.
Yes, thank you. Questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Moving on to other. Approve Committee on Preschool Special Education and Committee on Special Education minutes. Recommendation that the Board of Education accept the recommendation of the CSE meetings and their minutes from the September 13, 16, 30, and October 3rd, 4th, 5th, 5th, 6th, 2022 meetings. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Teresa, thanks. Second,
I'll second.
Francis. Questions or comments on this item? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Moving on to personnel items. Approve termination, B. Ecker. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Assistant Superintendent of Management Services, the Board of Education hereby terminates the employment of Barbara Acker, cleaner, effective October 4, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Avis. Second, Melissa. Thank you. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Last personnel item. Approve appointments. Recommendation of the Board of Education approve the following appointments as recommended by the superintendent and athletic director. ECA appointments are for the applicable 2022-2023 school year and sports season, beginning with preseason practice and ending at the conclusion of the season, including sectional play. All appointments are employees at will, and appointment at this time does not guarantee employment for the entire school season, term, or year. And there's a list of 7 names as listed. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Teresa. Second?
Second.
Francis, thank you. Questions or comments?
It's great that you got some bus monitors. That's a great step forward, I'm sure.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not quite drivers, but I'm sure we're getting there.
Yeah, we're moving.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. I motion to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter. Do I have a second? Thank you, Melissa. Questions or comments?
Just one thing about the building, the capital vote. The next meeting is a special meeting, right? We're having a hearing. Do we have to announce that or something
Next meeting,
somewhere?
there'll be a public hearing that starts at 6 o'clock, so we'll do that at 6 o'clock, and then it'll probably take around a half an hour, maybe a little bit more. But we'll let people ask any questions they have about the capital project. So if you have some questions that you're dying to know, you can either email me, or you can come to the public hearing and ask your question at the November meeting.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right. All in favor of going into executive session? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? So for people from the public, we're going to go into executive session. When it concludes, we're going to come out and end the regular meeting. There's not going to be any more regular business done. So, thank you.